Hey guys, Joe here. Thanks for checking out another video. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, become a member, all that good stuff. Amazon affiliate links, Google, Liberty Arms, who's providing today's item, and all that great jazz. Before the video starts, e-bagging over. Let's get into this video. At the store that I help out with, Liberty Arms, again, Harrisonburg, Virginia, Google them. Every now and then somebody will walk in with something really cool, and that is the case today. What happened was this customer is moving and can't take some of these firearms with them. So they brought in a couple of firearms, we picked them up. I was considering buying one, but now I'm kind of deciding against it because it's just like something I recently sold anyways. And that is this little guy. This is a CZ82. You saw a little bit of this in the last video. Check it out up there where I talked about how my Rock Island broke because I was demonstrating the extractor and the ejector. But this little guy is in really good shape for its age. It does need to be re-blued because all the bluing has been taken off, but we'll get into the nitpicking it in a minute. For now, let's talk about the history of this particular pistol. The CZ82 was the direct replacement for the CZ52, which used 7.62 by 25 Tokarev. The CZ82 uses 9 by 18 Makarov. For those of you that don't know, this is a 9 by 18. This is a 9 by 19. As you can see, the cases are pretty much the same length, 1 millimeter difference, but the bullet is a much different bullet. They are usually much lighter. In fact, these full metal jackets from Barnaul are only 94 grains. So yeah, that's a 124 grain hollow point, and that is a 94 grain full metal jacket. So there's the difference. But dimensionally from the rear, the cases are the same width, they're just a different length. Do not try to put 9 by 19 in here. It may fire if you were to manually insert one, but it's not a good deal. So just don't do it. The CZ83, which was also released, is chambered in 32 ACP. This was in production from 1983 to 1993 in this variant. And then they did a variant from 93 to 2012 under the new name. This was made when it was still Czechoslovakia. So taking a look at it, it's actually got a lot of features that you're just seeing on a lot of modern semi-automatic handguns today. So let's take a look at the outside. And as I said, this has a lot of features that are just now becoming standard. This was the first military pistol to have ambidextrous safeties and an ambidextrous magazine release. You can push it from either side. It's very stiff on this model. The only thing that's not ambidextrous is the slide lock slide release. Otherwise, this gun is good for a lefty or a righty. I'm trying to keep it away from the camera a little bit so that you get the best possible view without it being on top of the screen like the Rock Island video. Oops. It has a single action, double action trigger and an external hammer, which is perfectly fine. It has standard for the 80s sights. It has just a little U-notch here in the back and then just a front post with no night sight, high vis, nothing like that. You could change it out, but I believe that becomes blasphemy and you will burn in the deepest fires of Hades for it. Like a lot of high-end pistols, it does have nice serrations on the top which help reduce glare, especially when these things are blued and in really good condition. You can get a lot of glare off these tops when they're curved like that. Functionality of this firearm. This is a blowback pistol. It does not use any sort of tilting barrel action, and we will be taking a look at that in a moment. Has a semi-flared base on the grip, but the magwell is not cut in any way. And it has a 12-round double stack magazine. So again, for a pistol from 1983, this guy is checking a lot of really cool boxes. When you actually get the button pressed, it is a drop-free magazine. Has these plastic grips on it, held in with one screw, which is actually a very common CZ design cue. You see that on a lot of their pistols. The Shadows and all those have one screw that holds the grip on. They are cut into the sides of the frame, so you have to be specific if you are going to change these out. Unfortunately, someone did deface this one a little bit by putting an M on it. Trigger. Again, it has a single to double action, no decocker. So it's just a 1911 style cocked and locked if you want to carry it, which then defeats the trigger. It actually blocks the trigger, and you carry it cocked and locked, 12 in the mag, 1 in the chamber. Let's talk about the trigger pull. In double action, it's a long, heavy pull, as it should be, because you're obviously doing the entire job of the trigger bar in cocking the hammer. In single action, you'll see that it pulls the trigger way in and makes it super easy to just... It's still probably about a 5.5, 6 pound trigger, but it's very smooth for its weight. This does have a last round hold open. Again, something that you don't see in some older firearms of the day. And overall, it feels really nice in the hand. It probably feels to me a little bit better than a Makarov. I think this grip is slightly longer. You can see I can get all my fingers on it. And with the integrated beaver tail, you don't have to worry about getting slide bite. So that's nice. Let's go ahead and disassemble it. It's really easy. First thing you do is you bring the slide all the way back, make sure that it's empty, nothing in it. Then, like a Makarov, you just pull down on the trigger guard. Like that. This one popped. I don't know if that's just because it hasn't been taken apart in a while, but that's all you do. You just pull it down and it will stay in position on its own. You then pull back, lift up, and slide the slide off. Yes, that's alliteration for you. Big old blowback spring. That's the only cushion you have for this slide. It's a pretty weighty slide. Inside you have your firing pin tube. There's your firing pin, external extractor, decent cuts on the side. If it was mine and I wanted to be really egregious, I would match these serrations up here just to kind of make it more tactical. Inside, it's definitely been used. This is a 30-year-old pistol after all, or nearly 30-year-old pistol. Actually, nearly 40 years old. Man, time flies when you're an old guy. But overall, it's in really good shape. Like I said, they took all the bluing off. I don't know how they did it without scratching it, so I'm assuming they used a chemical process, but they did not get the bluing off there, so the gun should be re-blued. But as you can see, when we take a look at the frame, the barrel is integrated into the frame. Obviously, there's a pin you can knock out, which will then allow some tension to be taken off so you can knock out the barrel, but you don't need to, because right from the factory, and you can see it's still really shiny, these are chrome-lined barrels. It aids in longevity and reliability and heat transfer, so it won't wear out the grooves inside of the barrel as easily. I don't know if you can see down there. That's another place where this is slightly different. It has what's called polygonal rifling inside of it. So it's really difficult to see. I'll see if I can get a good picture with my camera, but the entire inside of the barrel, rather than having lands and grooves, which are spiral and you see in most barrels, the entire inside of the barrel is cut at super shallow angles. So the entire barrel twists at these really shallow angles, which hopefully will increase rotation speed. And it must have been successful, because this pistol was manufactured from '83 to 2012, pretty much nonstop. There was a little break in the 90s from 93 to 99, I believe. As you can see, there's your hammer, your trigger, all that good stuff. It's your standard hammer-fired gun. The ambi safeties are really cool. Again, that's something you're only seeing on a lot of new guns today, like the Gen 5 Glocks finally got ambi safeties, and the fact that it was ambi magazine release all the way back in '83 is pretty dang impressive. Overall, the condition of this gun, for as old as it is pretty darn nice. I'm impressed at how clean the person kept it, and it was very well lubed. I had to wipe some of the lube off because it was a little extra lubed before. Reassembly, super duper easy. You just go ahead and grab it, bring it back, drop your slide down a little bit so that it catches back on the frame rails, and then once you've done that, you go ahead and make sure you still have functionality. So what do I think of this pistol? I think it's pretty darn neat, and I'm tempted to keep it. I sold off my Taurus PT-58, which was chambered in 380 ACP. I'm not going to. I'm going to let one of you guys buy it. If you're interested in this gun, it will be available at Liberty Arms. Google it, Harrisonburg, Virginia. Give them a call. Say, hey man, I saw that CZ. Do you still have it? And if they do, they can ship it to your FFL, or if you're local, you can just swing in and pick it up. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and leave a comment, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think, and come back for a few more air guns, because I've picked up a few more of those in the meantime as well. So I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. This is Joe. This has been The Jiminy Show. And as always, I'll talk to you later.